Okay, look at first of all the configuration for the main switch. Okay, the distribution switch. Cisco enable class show VLAN brief. Okay, 4 VLANs created on this switch. So running config. Hostname, enable secret password, IP domain name, useful for SSH. The username and password Cisco, also useful for SSH. All these ports are trunk, including this port connected to HQ Dublin, and all these are trunk ports, and the native VLAN is 30. This is the port connected to HQ Dublin, this port, with the native VLAN 30 and is trunk. The IP address of this switch, this IP on the VLAN 30 and on this network, okay, default gateway and an access list to permit only this host, the touch support host, with this IP address 85. Okay, the access list permit only touch support PC to access the SSH to this device. Access class 2, access list 2. Okay, so touch support PC is the only one PC that can access SSH of this device and all devices on this network. Access switch show running config. Okay, these ports are connected to the distribution switch in our trunks and use the VLAN 30 as native. And these another 3 ports are the ports connected to the another access switch. Okay, these ports use native VLAN 30 in our trunks, and this interface is configured with switch port security and use MAC address sticky, and by default the port is configured to shut down. Okay, and place it on VLAN 30. The another 3 ports on VLAN 40 and use port security. The IP address on administrative IP address on VLAN 30, IP default gateway, the access list to permit only the touch support PC to access SSH. another access switch. Okay, these ports from 4 to 6 are connected to the distribution switch on VLAN theory as native and are trunks, and from 7 to 9 are connected to the another access switch. Okay, from 7 to 9 native VLAN theory and are trunks. The first port is on VLAN 10. Okay, VLAN 10 for the fast Ethernet 23 on VLAN 10. Okay, this port on VLAN 10 and 24 on VLAN 20. Okay, 24 on VLAN 20. And use switch port security. The IP address of the switch on VLAN 30, default gateway, the access list. Okay, this is the BTP status. Use any domain name and is the server. Okay, and the access switch. The access switches are clients and use the same domain as the server. Show BTP password. This is the password for BTP. So the distribution switch will share all its VLANs. So distribution switch will share all the VLANs created here and will share to the access switches. The access switches. Okay. Doubling. So running config. Okay, host name, enable secret password, is class in all devices. This is the configuration for the DHCP for all the VLANs. Okay. The username for SSH and 2 additional username for chat authentication. Okay. Gigabit 00 is this interface connected to the server, DNS server. Okay, and for NAT is the inside interface. And Gigabit 01 is configured with 4 subinterfaces, one for each VLAN. The VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30, VLAN 40, subinterface 10, subinterface 20, 30, and 40. The IP address and all are inside for NAT. Inside. and serial interface is connected to internet. I'm using frame relay for this. Serial 1 connected to team router. Serial 010 connected to Cork. Serial 011 connected to Edinburgh. Serial 020 connected to team router. This is the configuration for EIGRP. Okay. Autonomous System 5 redistribute the static network, redistribute this static default network, okay, to all its neighbors, and obviously configure the passive interfaces, okay, that will not have an EIGRP neighbor, okay, and configure all the connected networks 9, okay, 1 plus 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do not configure this for EIGRP because it's using a static default route. This is the pool, the dynamic pool, a pool called .NAT. Use this IP address, only one IP address, with this net mask, and use the access list 1 to use the pool .NAT with path overload. This is the access list that will permit all the private IP internal addresses, and we'll use this to translate to this IP address using port address translation overloads. Okay, the second access list, number 2, is used for to permit only touch support PC to connect SSH on this device, and 1 of 1 is placed to permit the HTTP access, HTTPS access, and deny any other traffic to internet. 1 of 1 is placed on serial 0 interface on outgoing direction, okay, outgoing direction to internet. So HQW router will act as a firewall to permit only HTTP connections, okay, no ICMP, no FTP, only HTTP and HTTPS. 1 of 2 will permit TCP established, okay, that will permit that all connections from the LAN to internet will be permitted, and the connection to internet to the LAN will be blocked or will be not permitted, okay, and is placed on serial 0 in, okay, this interface in incoming, and this will deny the ICMP replace, okay, or will block the pings. for VLAN theory. Okay, so nobody can ping the IT network on VLAN theory. Okay. Edinburgh. So now it's very simple here. The username for SSH, user doubling for CHAP authentication. Okay, and these are the LAN interfaces, and this is the serial 0 interface with the CHAP authentication. Okay, and we'll work with the interface serial 11 on doubling. Okay, CHAP authentication. Obviously, before use the CHAP authentication, you need to configure the encapsulation point-to-point protocol on this interface. And that's it. So this is the EIGRP router configuration. Two passive interface because we have two LANs and all the connected networks, 3 directly connected networks, 1, 2, 3 directly connected networks, autonomous system 5, okay, access list to permit only the access for touch support to SSH on this device. Cork is very similar, and only one interface, IPv4 and IPv6. The serial interface with CHAP authentication. Encapsulation point-to-point protocol is connected to the doubling router. So this doubling user is for the CHAP authentication and user admin is for the SSH access. The router EIGRP5, only one passive interface, only one LAN, two directly connected networks, 1 and 2. The access list for the administrator. Team router. Okay. Team router is the intermediary between Limerick, Galway, and Dublin. Okay, and have 4 serial interfaces. Okay, 4 serial interfaces, and router EIGRP. Router EIGRP for these 2 serial interfaces. 2 directly connected networks, 2 directly connected networks, and for this another 2 interfaces use OSPF, process ID 1, 2 directly connected networks on area 0, 2 directly connected networks on area 0, and you need to redistribute on EIGRP redistribute OSPF, and on OSPF redistribute EIGRP5. And this redistribution will permit that the OSPF area 0 can connect with the EIGRP Autonomous System 5 and vice versa. Okay, and on OSPF, use default information originate to redistribute the static default route to reach internet for these networks. Okay, then SSH connection, Galway, only one LAN interface and only one serial interface. Galway is placed on the OSPF Area 0 network, so you need to configure OSPF to directly connected networks on Area 0, to directly connected networks on Area 0, and passive interface, one LAN. Okay. Limerick, one LAN interface and one serial interface placed on OSPF Area 0, two directly connected networks, one passive interface, and the access point. Port 0 is the connection to the Ethernet interface, and port 1 is the wireless access point. This is the internet service provider. Enable running config. 1 gigabit interface, one serial interface using frame relay to connect to internet, and one IP route to send packets to the IP NAT on HQ Dublin. Okay, remember the IP address for the NAT, remember this NAT, and the ISP is using use a static route to reach this network. Okay, this network for NAT on HQ Dublin, and that's it. For very simple. Obviously, all PCs and servers are configured with IP address, default gateway, and subnet mask. The DNS server is configured with the site on internet. Okay, this is the server 210.1.1.2 with the name example.com. It's configured on the DNS server. So, for example, the accounting PC can access to to that server. Okay. This is possible because these access lists permit all the HTTP and HTTPS access. Okay, accounting can use HTTPS. Okay, HTTPS access. But if we'll try ping, this will fail. Okay, ping will fail because HQ doubling is permitting only HTTP and HTTPS and denying any other traffic. Okay, and try with, for example, PC7. Successful for web, but ping will fail. And finally, on team router, I will show the IP route table. Show IP route is using EIGRP and OSPF. Okay. Limerick, for example, show running config. No, show IP route. We'll use only OSPF, but the redistribution on team router will permit the EIGRP networks to be listed on this routing table. Okay, Galway. Okay, these are the EIGRP networks. Okay, thank you very much.